The Switch, a Season 2 episode of Tales from the Crypt, is not Arnold Schwarzenegger's only directorial effort. He also helmed a 1992 TV remake of Christmas in Connecticut, and it would make more sense to review that in December, but you try tracking down a 30-year-old TV movie. Tales from the Crypt, meanwhile, is up on YouTube for free, probably because nobody knows who really owns the rights. That's why the M. Night Shyamalan reboot never got off the ground. The title, the Crypt Keeper, the stories, the HBO branding, every piece of this show belongs to someone else, so it's in that same rights limbo as like the Friday the 13th game. Anyway, The Switch starts off with Arnold coaching the Crypt Keeper through a workout session, asking if he wants to remain
a 90-pound corpse for the rest of your death.
The episode stars William Hickey, who you might know as that really old guy. I'm pretty sure this guy was born in his late 80s. He plays Carlton, a rich old man who hopes to win over a young woman, Linda, without letting her know about his money. You know, so she'll love him for him. She tells him right off the bat that that's not happening because he's a wrinkly old prune who looks like, well, the Crypt Keeper. So he decides to get plastic surgery. He finds the benefits of a simple facelift underwhelming and gets referred to this mad scientist dude who charges him a cool $1 million to do a full face transplant. This episode came out 7 years before Face Off, by the way. The doctor tells him that the operation only costs $100,000, with the other $900,000 going to the face donor, Hans. We get some interesting visuals here with William Hickey's face on a muscular young man's body and Hickey's old and decrepit body with a Ken doll face plastered onto it like a rubber mask.
But your face, it's so different and bizarre. And your body's still old and decrepit.
The old man returns to the surgeon and requests a new torso, with the price going up to $2 million this time. Now his girl is finally showing some interest in him, because he's portrayed by the hunky young dude, just with Hickey's creaky old man voice dubbed over.
Not bad, huh?
Not bad, wonderful.
Everything's going well until they decide to go for a swim, and it turns out he's been skipping leg day.
They're so scrawny and old. Look at the sagging skin and the...
This bitch is so goddamn mean. At this point, the old guy can't even afford his own house or to keep his butler on. This scene is surprisingly effective. The friendship between the old man and his butler has been the one source of warmth in the guy's life and in this episode. He goes back to the doctor and gets charged $1 million a limb for the lower body, totaling $3 million, which is all the money he has left in the world. And if you don't think the math adds up, check out how the surgeon is chopping up a big fat salami in this scene. Now the body swap is complete for a sum total of $6 million, and he can't wait to get over to Linda's house and crush some pussy. She's moved into a new place where he finds out that she's fallen in love and gotten married since he saw her last. As she explains it, she's a lot less interested in muscular young men than she is in rich guys. And not only did the donor take his money and his girl, he even took his butler. You know, I could have told this guy from the beginning to just flash some dollar bills and she'll be all over your nuts. What, you think those boats and all the bikini photos belong to young men who spend all their money on protein powder? Tales from the Crypt directors either do or don't get it. Adam West said of the 1960s Batman series that it's not camp, it's not spoof, it's just a type of fun that adults don't allow themselves to have. Past a certain age, you need the prophylactic of irony. It has to be actually a clever satire of the genre, or else you're one of those idiots who's just enjoying life and having a good time. And I think that sums up Tales from the Crypt as well as it does Batman. Arnold Schwarzenegger gets it, and that's the most important thing for this show. At the same time, he doesn't miss the sense of tragedy in the old man's losses. The friendship with the butler is nicely established, and that's the twisting of the knife that really sends it home in the end. Arnold never directed an action movie, but there's a brief fight scene here with the old man using his newly acquired muscles to toss a dude over his car like Superman. You get an idea of what Arnold's stable of regulars would have looked like had he continued directing. The body donor, Hans, is played by Rick Rossovich from The Terminator, and Roy Brocksmith from Total Recall steals the show as the mad scientist. So basically, everyone Arnold ever killed in a movie would probably have wound up in one of his directorial films sooner or later. I get the sense that Arnold would have been a really fun director. Movies like Jingle All the Way, Junior, and Kindergarten Cop are probably the best examples of what kind of material he'd have been attracted to as a filmmaker. If he never seriously pursued directing as a career, it's probably because it's really not that much fun. The creative work is only 1% of being a filmmaker. The rest of the job is just work. And I bet directors wake up every day wondering why they don't just take the money they've earned so far and go buy a McDonald's franchise or something. And the answer is money and pussy. I would guess that Arnold dipped his toe in filmmaking, contemplated directing a feature film for theatrical release, and after a few meetings with investors, who would have been much happier to back a movie starring Schwarzenegger than directed by him, realized that the chore-like nature of the job would compromise the sense of fun that he brought to it. Was it a great loss? I don't know. In his capacity as a star, Arnold often makes key decisions in the filmmaking process, like making the first half of Predator a military action movie and the second half a monster flick. All directing really is decision making, and when it's your name that sells the project, you only have to make the fun ones. If you liked this video, don't forget to like and subscribe.